Estate Show, brand new show this week. All kind of great information we'll talk about. First thing we'll do is really dig into the micro market numbers from 2022. All the final numbers are in per zip code. They're very, very interesting. Some have huge declines, some held in there pretty good. And we'll look and see kind of how does your area stack up here on the Grand Strand in terms of overall 12-month and also month versus month. So, for example, how December end up versus the previous December. All kind of different numbers there. We capped last week. I'll recap briefly. The overall macro market was down 52% last month alone. And so some very interesting numbers there. But on the flip side, we talked about last week, prices were up for the last 3 months in a row. And so it's very, very interesting to kind of see what's happening right now. And inventory was also down last month, which is helping protect price. And so it's a very interesting time and very spicy time in real estate. We'll talk about what's going on there, kind of what's happening. We had some huge news this week in terms of interest rates. Interest rates back down. As of today, back in the fives, which is great news there. Some good inflation numbers came in, which obviously helped the bond market, which helped interest rates. And so great news there, back in the fives. You're going to see a lot of buyers that are on the sidelines jump back in if and when we see rates go back in the fives and stay back in the fives. And hopefully, the mid to low fives, which should be great. So we'll also talk about what to expect here in 2023. Our team just finished up a record year last year. Big shout out to everyone on our team, and very, very thankful to our clients out there. Anybody referred us, listen to the show. Finished up right at 700 homes sold last year, which is really almost 2 homes sold every single day, or one every 12 or 13 hours, which is great. And one of the great numbers we really talked about today in a video with Alex, one of our actual director of sales, was the average sales per agent for our team was 20 deals per agent. If you look at the MLS, the average sales per agent last year was 3.7 deals per year. And so that, from an experience standpoint, do you want somebody who's selling 3.7 deals per year as your agent, or somebody who's selling 20 plus as your agent? And this comes down to experience and what happens. And we'll talk about that in the show and why that experience is so important when you're dealing, for most people, one of the largest assets. And so big shout out to our team. Just absolutely crushed it last year, even in a marketplace that saw a sharp decline in third and fourth quarter last year. Which is very, very interesting. So we'll talk about recapping the overall macro numbers. Like I mentioned, they're on 52% last month alone, but also really good information right now. We'll just kind of look at the top 3 reasons to sell your home this season, aka this early, late winter, early spring. We'll talk about what's going on there. And as usual, some amazing success stories. Our team's absolutely crushing it, still pushing very, very hard, and bringing that intensity that we always do all the way through the holidays and obviously into the early part of this year as well.
Just tuning in for the very first time and you're not sure who you're listening to or what you're listening to, it's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show, hosted by, of course, Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan has been called the Real Estate Whiz Kid. He's been featured in Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, Realtor magazine, and other national publications. You may be seeing him on TV with NBC and also with Fox and Friends with Morning Show. You heard the personal endorsements here by Sean Hannity, also Barbara Corcoran, Gary LaVox. Put them all together, it's just totally unprecedented. Now, that's one thing, but the other thing is that Blake has trademark systems for both home sellers and home buyers. They are trademarked, so we can't give you all the details, but more than happy every week to tell you the most important part of that system.
Yes, and I think we're going 13, 14 years of doing this and talk about this, and I made a promise a long time ago to myself that I talk about this every single week, because by far, just by a mile, it's the biggest problem I see over and over and over, and the biggest mistake I see that any home seller, any home buyer makes. The mistake they make is thinking that all real estate agents are the same. It could not be any further from the truth. Just like any doctor, any lawyer, if you're charged with a crime you did not commit, you don't want just some part-time attorney who's tried a few cases, who your friend recommended, who just got their law license, right? You want the absolute best, most aggressive, most experienced attorney in that, specialized in that type of law. And that's what you deserve. And you should never accept anything less than that when you're dealing with your largest assets, like your home or your real estate or your commercial property. And so it comes down to the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home seller comes down to one thing only, and that thing is the agent that you choose, period. Not the wall color, not the grass quality, right? It comes down to the agent you choose, and really it comes down to how does the agent that you have actually execute when it comes down to getting the property sold. What most people don't realize, there's 118 different variables from A to Z when getting a property sold. So if each one's handled correctly, it puts money in your pocket, property gets sold. Anything's handled incorrectly, aka they drop the ball at any point. And that can be anything from, does your agent actually answer the telephone when a buyer calls off the for sale sign? Do they even have a for sale sign? Do they respond to web leads online? If they do, how long does it take them to respond? Coming down to their price strategy. All these things matter that make or break the home sale, that most agents drop the ball on because you have one single person trying to juggle all those balls. And so what most agents end up doing is the 3 Ps. Number 1, they promise you the world to get the listing. Number 2, they put it to MLS. And number 3, they pray that someone else brings a buyer. Meanwhile, they're just down the street trying to get the next listing. Why is that? Because they're just trying to survive. And like I mentioned, if you take the average numbers and break those down, the average agent in our marketplace on 3.7 homes a year, that's 1 per quarter if they're lucky. There's just not a whole lot of experience or understanding and ultimately capital to put up on your behalf, to risk on your behalf, to bring in buyers to look at your property. And so what I did, I said, there's got to be a better way. How can we systematize this and prioritize this to make sure we can get predictable results for our clients over and over and over again? And that's really kind of how the whole thing was born. I created a system called the Guaranteed Sold System. The only proven system sells twice as fast and for up to 20% more money than traditional methods. And it works very, very, very well, right? We make sure we just get out and we line up the dominoes, we stack the dominoes, then we knock the dominoes down with 2 things. Number 1 is a team of people, where we have a team of specialists versus some generalists who try to do everything. Most agents you see are trying to juggle all the balls, and the problem is they're not efficient with anything. That's why they don't call you back. That's why I don't call the buyers back when the buyer called the for sale sign in front of your house 6 times because no one's there to answer the phone. They're out showing properties to somebody else trying to survive in the business. And so there's a whole problem in our industry that's been going on for decades that had to be figured out. And so I said, how do we take that and create a team of people where it's a team of specialists? We have a team of buyer specialists, team of seller specialists, and a whole administrative team that's backed up by technology that allows the right things happen in the right order every single time. And what it does is, once you stack those dominoes, it gives our client one thing, the most important thing, and that's a competitive advantage in the marketplace. And so that's how we take regular listings that couldn't sell them faster and for more money than the overall traditional average by stacking those dominoes up. And so if you want to know more how that works, reach out to us. You deserve it, right? To at least experience it, at least look into it, the Guaranteed Sold System. Reach out, call me 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. And on the flip side, guess what? 100 plus variables out there when you're buying a property. There's so many things that make or break the home purchase. Either you get the property, you don't get the property, you get the right price. And so we create a system, just the same exact thing, but opposite sides of transaction, called the Unfair Advantage Home Buying System. We get you priority access to foreclosures, distressed sales, desperate sellers, the absolute best negotiation and purchase price, as well as the home inspection to get you to that closing table successfully and keep the most amount of money in your pocket. And so, like I mentioned, you deserve to understand and see how those processes work, and you deserve the best. And so if you want the experience who has really, like I mentioned, 4 to 5 times the average MLS numbers per year per agent, reach out, call us, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com anytime.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home right now, every detail means dollars, and who you hire to negotiate your home, that really matters. Hey, Sean Hannity here, and as an active investor who invests in real estate all across the great country of ours, I want the best negotiator representing my interests. I'm talking about Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. He can help you navigate through multiple cash offers, and more importantly, he has turned complicated situations into 5-star reviews. Now check out his rave reviews on Google. Talk to him yourself. If you are on trial with big money at stake, you would want a seasoned negotiator with thousands of victories. If they will take you on and you can afford them, right? Well, your home deserves the best representation. Know your options, see how much demand your home can command in this market right now, and get the best representation that you deserve. Call Blake Sloan today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD, or online at BlakeSloan.com. That's BlakeSloan.com.
I'm excited to connect with Blake Sloan, the only real estate agent in Myrtle Beach that I recommend. You offer several options to home sales, which really takes away the stress.
That's right. For sellers at a time crunch, you can agree to sell it by a certain date, pay cash for your home, or even rent it.
That's great. And if the seller has a bit more time?
Use our proven marketing plan to sell it for the highest price.
Work with my friend Blake Sloan and get your home sold on your terms.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Brand new market numbers, and they're very, very nice, actually, if you look at the week versus week. We talked last week, had a slow week. The first really kind of partial week of the year. The first week of the year came in. Look at last week's show. We always track this very, very important number. These are new deals that went under contract. We can do that to kind of keep a pulse. And I watch this number every single morning. We share it with our team every morning in our huddle. It's just very important because I can see what's happening in real time, and I can forecast what's going to happen 30, 60 days from now based on this number, which allows us to help advise our clients with data to help make better decisions. And so looking at last week's show, the 7-day previous period, there's 364 properties under contract that went under contract. Basically, 364 deals had a buyer and seller agree to a price in the entire MLS, and that's just homes, condos, everything there. This week, though, 487 under contract, so up 34% week over week, and a lot of that has to do with just people that just kind of bottle up and they get, we call it the holiday paralysis. They get paralyzed through the holidays, right? We have people that come in across the globe into our websites and they search, and then we call them about Thanksgiving. They always give us this huge objection that says first of the year, first of the year, first year. And so what you really saw, our whole team talked about last week, is that once the first year happened, everyone was coming back down. Everybody's kind of, it's called pent up demand, so to speak. But great news here for us, which we'll see a big bump. So looking at the difference this week, 487 under contract, like I mentioned, up 34% from just last week's show when it was 364. Right now, active homes back up already, which is good, which you usually see that too. Some take their property off the market during the holidays. Some wait till after the holidays to be able to list it. Right now, 883 active properties, single-family resale homes in Horry County right now. That's just easiest to measure to kind of get a pulse. Last week's show was 867, so you're seeing that bump up. Almost 20 properties there. Here's another thing. Volume right now, right at 170 million in the last 7 days. 169, 255, 92. Where last week's show was only 125 million. So awesome jump there. Really overall with that. Properties over $1 million. 9 properties over $1 million under contract last 7 days. Last week's show, 8 properties over $1 million. Right now, 58 properties over 500,000. Last week's show, 54 properties over 500,000. And if you go back, just like the week before Christmas on 12/23, only 298 properties. So we're seeing that bump back up to 487 right now, which is great news for home sellers out there. A lot of buyers are back moving. We're seeing so many people relocate right now, where Myrtle Beach is still in very high demand and still very affordable compared to a lot of places. We're still not anywhere near our peak we saw last year. About 35 weeks ago, 690 under contract, 215 million, which was also a 25% drop from the peak. So we were right around 700 and 800 properties per week, every single week that were going under contract. And now we're right back down to, I like a very good number. I always tell my team, anything over 150 million in a 7-day period is very nice and really stable from a marketplace standpoint. So great news. We'll see that bump up. We also saw inventory drop down last month. Look at last month's numbers. Quick recap. It's actually looking a lot better. The data is finally been put in. Last week's show was down 52%. If you looked at December versus December, more sales have been put in, and basically agents are just slack and they don't put the sale in when they're supposed to. And so right now they're 2 weeks in and finally putting some deals in. But it's down 36.5% from the same time last year. So for example, December of this year had 695 properties. December of last year had 1,095 properties that closed. And so that was just a great kind of example. You're seeing it, be down pretty significant. If you look at prices, though, great news prices. Prices are up, though, 15.4% from the same time last year. And it's actually hit a new record, which is awesome. The new record was 375,750 in May. We just hit a whole new record right now, 380,000. So that we'll talk about in a second. It's being driven by low inventory, where it dropped back down as well. And so that's when all the people out there talking about the market's going to crash. They don't really take into account this huge issue. There's a massive home shortage. There's just a massive home shortage, a 5 million unit home shortage still. After we had the 2008 crisis, when people just didn't build homes between 2008 and really 2013 and 14, which is why we're paying that price now, along with inflation and everything else. There's still a massive home shortage, which is also seeing rents go up, prices continue to climb, and average sale price also up 13.7% at 437,000. Again, like I mentioned, what's driving that is inventory. It's up 112% from the same time last year, but that's kind of misleading in a way because it's still not anywhere near a seller's market. So not anywhere near a buyer's market. Right now, we're at 3.4 months of inventory. The last time we were there was back in 2020, about August, September 2020. what we're overall seeing. Last month, we were 3.6 months inventory, now at 3.4 months inventory, which is great news for home sellers because it's protecting price overall. But we have seen significant declines in sales the last 3 months. And so you're probably going to see prices soften just a little bit. But so far, so good in terms of prices where they're continuing to climb, which is great news. One thing we're also seeing showings per listing is down 39.1%. And that's just less buyers in the marketplace right now when you're seeing rates have been very high. Remember, they're up into the sevens. They came back into the sixes. Right now, we're back into some of the fives, which is great. And many buyers who are priced out are now jumping back in. It is a great opportunity right now for home buyers because you're not being outbid and you're not paying 30, 40, 50,000 over asking price like you were just a few short months ago. And you're able to get in pretty good. And we also partner with a lender who's giving me a certificate at closing to get a $2,500 closing cost credit if they refinance when rates go back down. And so it's the best of both worlds. Been really crushing it on both sides for our sellers by helping buyers buy that are concerned about rates, and any buyers who are looking to buy that are concerned about rates. We partner with a lender who can help them refi when rates go down. It doesn't really cost them anything out of pocket, which is great news. If you want to know more about how that works, reach out, call me, go to my website. I'm more than happy to fill you in on that. But we worked that out, negotiated that, which is a great opportunity. So you can lock in prices now. You're not being outbid and getting multiple offer situations. But once something happens rate-wise and rates go back down, you can refinance and use that gift certificate from the lender to help cover closing costs. So you can basically just get the lower rate without any money out of pocket at closing. So great news there overall. One thing I'll do really quick is just hop into the micro market. I'm not going to go every number just because it takes so much time. It's not the best really format for radio, but I like to cover the key numbers. Myrtle Beach December numbers. Closed sales for single-family homes down 40.4%, which is significant, right? Prices up 4.6%. If you've looked at, though, overall year-to-date last year, throughout the entire year, sales in Myrtle Beach were down 11.7%, but prices year-to-date through the entire year, the whole 12 months, were up 16.7%. So in January, 385, into December, 449, 138. Still a lot of extra equity there for people, and we're still seeing properties sell. I've been in the business 20 years. Grew up in the business, mom, dad, aunt, uncle, grandpa, grandma, entire family sold real estate. I'm still seeing numbers that are absolutely blowing my mind in terms of what's happening, what people are paying for it. And we're seeing such a huge influx of money from the Northeast and other areas come here, and it's really influencing price. And what we're seeing, sellers get way more money than they ever thought possible overall. The overall percent of list price received ended up being about 98.5% of list price. So on average, if a house listed at $100,000 last year, it sold for $98,500, which is pretty, I guess, reflective of the third and fourth quarter. A lot of that before we were seeing above asking price. Condo sales down significantly last month in Myrtle Beach, 29577, 29572, up down 51.1%. Overall, that was last month. If you look year to date, condo sales down 16.6%. So that was the entire 12 months of last year. Median sales price for condos last year, though, up 34.4%. So if you were in January, 160,000, December, you're at 215,000. So a lot of extra equity in the pocket, which is great. Even with here's what's crazy numbers we're seeing. So looking at condos in Myrtle Beach last month alone, sales are down 51.1%, but prices were still up 7.4%. And so that's just a challenge we're seeing with low inventory across the board, and it's still being a seller's market in terms of low numbers. Like I mentioned, 3.4 months inventory. Anything 6 months or less is considered a seller's market, meaning the seller has the advantage, and we're still seeing prices climb. That goes back to that same housing shortage we talked about. Myrtle Beach closed sales last month down 20.6%. Year to date, they ended up sales down 19.9%. But the great news, year to date last year, they ended up prices in North Myrtle Beach up 17.4%. So in January, it's 460. In December, 540,000. A lot of extra equity there overall for those homeowners in North Myrtle Beach area, which is great. Condo sales in North Myrtle down 36.4%. Also, sales the entire year were down 23.6%. But here's the thing. Condo prices up 28.1% for the year, from 242 in January to 310,000 in December. Little River area, sales last month for single-family homes down 16.3%. Here's a crazy one, though. Year to date ended up 2.5%, which is great news, and prices up. Prices were up 23.6% from 299 up to 370,000. So a lot of extra equity there. We're finding that a lot of homeowners can get way more than they thought they could even now. And so if you're thinking about selling, I do think we'll probably see a little bit of softening on price, or at least of a increase of price You may see that level out a little bit, but you can really kind of cash out right now and get maximum equity for your property where it's still been going up due to low inventory overall, which is great news. Condo sales, not that many in Little River, but if you look at the overall year, they were down 20%, 20.5%, and sales price for condos in Little River up 31.8% last year, from 148 in January to 195 at the end of the year, which is great news. Carolina Forest area sales last month for single family homes down 21%. Year to date, they were down 4.2%. But here's the cool part: prices last year, the entire year, up 24.9%. So in January, median price 352, 304. December, 440. So you can see the pattern here. Everyone really, their prices were up significantly, double digits in this scenario, and a lot of extra equity in people's pockets, which is great news and really great hedge against inflation for those homeowners that own their condo sales. Not that many in Carolina Forest. They were down 24% for the year, but prices up 32.5% for the year, from 151 up to 200,000, which is great. Last couple ones here: Sauk City area closed sales down 7.5% last year, but prices up 25% for the year. Even with that tough third and fourth quarter, they still end up 25% increase, from 260 in January to 325 in December. Conway area sales down 3.9% last year, prices up 18.8%. So you can see they're ranging from about 18 to 25 and 28 based on where the area is, which is great news. From 244 in January to 289 in December. Surfside area where I grew up, 29575. Sales were down 33% for the year, which is significant, from 882 down to 586, but prices up 24.7%, from 300 up to 375. Garden City, Myrtle's Inlet area, sales down 23% for the year, prices up 24.6%, from 345 to 429. Pawleys Island, Litchfield area, sales down 31% for the year, prices up 18.5. So you can see the pattern there, right? In January, their prices were median 455. Right now, 538, 978. And so what that means is you probably have a lot more equity than you think. If you want to have a detailed number, reach out to us, call us, 843-808-SOLD or BlakeSloan.com. Here's the magic number, though. Here's what's so interesting right now. Mortgage rates back down. Great news this week from the CPI, which is good news for interest rates because it helps the bond market. Last week's show, a 30-year fix was 6.50. Right now, 6.07. So we're back down over a full point, almost a point and a half from the peak, which is great news right now. 30-year fix rate, 6.07. A 15-year fix, 5.25%, which is awesome. That's very, very affordable for a lot of people, and really kind of where I see the numbers of buyers jump back in once we're in the fives. 30-year jumbo, 5.68%. A 5-year adjust rate mortgage, 6.03%. A 30-year FHA, 5.65%, and a 30-year VA, 5.70%. So great opportunity right there. If you want to know more about those, reach out. We're here to help serve you. BlakeSloan.com or 808-SOLD anytime. Be right back in a second.
WRNN listeners, Clay Travis here. As investors in real estate, Buck and I both know exactly what to look for to find the agent with
How much I got?
Marketing to get the highest sales price possible for a home.
Totally true, Clay. And here in Myrtle Beach, that agent is our friend Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. If you need to sell a home and buy a new one, ask Blake about his guarantee.
Let's cut out that last commercial.
Guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline you agree to or buy himself. And since you
Sweet.
know when your current home will sell by and for how much, you can buy your next home without worrying about getting stuck with your mortgage.
There's simply no other agent in the market who has a guarantee that will line up against what Blake Sloan can offer you. So when you're looking to sell and buy, he is your guy. Read nearly 750 five-star reviews by Googling Sloan Realty Group. Give Blake a call today and start packing. That's Sloan Realty Group.
And tune in to Blake's shows Saturdays at 9 a.m. and Sundays at 11:30 a.m.
Welcome back to Blake Sloan Real Estate Show. Hot buyers alert. My team and I working with a ridiculous amount of home buyers who are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach Grand Strand area, from $250,000 to $4.35 million. If you're thinking about selling, reach out to us. Call us immediately, 843-808-SOLD. That's 843-808. So one of the things we've been doing here for a very, very long time, right, 10 plus years, is putting my money where my mouth is. And we just do something every week. We share, hey, look, here's how many active buyers we have real time on our website that are searching. We share that because most realtors don't start marketing until they put the sign in the ground once you call them. With us, we're spending tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars before you ever pick up the phone to call us. And so if you want to know, hey, look, Blake, what makes you different from everyone else? I'm outspending the average agent 100 to 1 from a marketing standpoint before you ever pick up the telephone to call us. And so that's why it's so important, because we have what we call buyers in waiting. We can match up to your property using our proprietary technology and be able to sell it within minutes and get you top dollar with those buyers. So right now, active home buyers from across the globe, 70,747 active home buyers. That's 70,747 active home buyers right now. I got Lori from Bristol, Connecticut. I got Sherry from Delcap, Illinois. I got Lee Bauer from Urbana, North Carolina. I got Caleb from Myrtle Beach. Got Colleen from Myrtle Beach. I got Bob Mess from Northeastern Massachusetts. Jessica from Columbia, South Carolina. I got Robert from Canonsburg, PA. And so Matawan, New Jersey. I got Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So we got all over people buying, searching, and those are searching our site this very second, real time. And so if you're thinking about selling, or anyone you know that's thinking about selling, have them reach out, call us. 843-808-SOLD. Just do me a favor. If you get any value from the show, hopefully just some market updates or just help you kind of keep track of your pulse of what's happening. Anybody mentions selling, just do me a favor and say, look, you got to call my buddy Blake and save me in your phone. Just save me as 808-SOLD, save me as Blake sold, whatever you want to do. And just say, look, you got to call my buddy. That would mean the world to me. And that's something that's really important for us. And the most really rewarding thing for doing this show is getting someone who calls us who said, hey, look, my property wasn't selling. We weren't sure what to do. And someone who listens to your show referred me to you. And that's what makes it worth it overall. And so really quick, I think 1 minute left. Big shout out for Success Story. Our team's absolutely crushing it. Big shout out to Dana and Jataya, owned a home in Market Common, and they were trying to get sold for over 3 months. They had a house list with another realtor who did no marketing. They had very little traffic and never received one single offer in that scenario. So they started to think their home was never going to sell. Thankfully, Dana remembered seeing Blake Sloan, my billboard, about the guaranteed sold system. They saw the billboard, decided to give us a call, met with us. They were absolutely blown away from the difference their previous realtor and what we offered here. It was obvious that they were the best choice. We came in, designed a custom plan, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, the virtual reality walkthrough, in just a couple weeks drove massive traffic at Dana and Jataya, a fantastic offer right at full price for their property. Mark Common is able to get that sold, which is awesome. And one more I'm not sure if I've talked about before, just had seen this a lot lately. One recent where John met a local well-known real estate investor, advertised on the radio, we buy houses. He was facing bankruptcy, foreclosure. He'd offered him $347,000, exactly what he owed in his mortgage. He was worried that basically he was not going to hit the deadline. Thankfully, he was referred to me. So obviously, Sloan Group reached out for a second opinion. We came in, showing it much, much more for that. We said we can get $415,000 in your pocket, got him $68,000 more. And he didn't even think it was possible. We talked him into it, showed him how the system worked, launched our global marketing blitz, professional photos, matched him up with our buyers in waiting, got a cash offer as is, $422,500, and a 3-month lease back, putting $75,500 extra dollars in John's pocket from the local radio We Buy Houses guy. And so if you want to make sure that you have someone's licensed, someone who's obviously there to protect you, that has your best interest, not someone who's going to come steal your equity and use that to flip and be able to take that and obviously pocket that money that should be going into your pocket. And so we're seeing a lot of that, a lot of wholesalers. If you want to know more, just reach out to me, call me. Our team's here with 750 plus 5-stars out there on Google, because we love to serve our clients at the highest level. We like to get our clients the most money possible. I'm very, very, very competitive. So anyone you know out there, have them call me, reach out to us, 843-808-SOLD or sloanrealtygroup.net. We'll see you back here next week.